Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jody. I am a sacred feminine leader, a spiritual leader, and an energy healer. So I am a coach slash mentor and healer all in one. So I want to talk today about manifestation because that is such a hot topic right now, and the mind and the body and how it affects your manifestation. Like, we all know that in order to get it, you have to believe it, right? So we do all this work to reprogram the subconscious mind. But there's also the body aspect, and the mind over the body wins every time. But there's two pieces to the body. The energy work is the first. If you are holding on to energetic wounds, fear, anger, any emotion trapped in the body, that signal that it's sending out to the universe is stronger than the belief that you're going to have. And if you are having trouble believing these new beliefs, it's because there is an energetic wound in the body that contradicts the belief you're trying to have. But here's the thing, there is polarity when it comes to releasing and healing things in the body. So some of the most basic things that people work really hard to believe, like about their worthiness, deserving, seeing the value and the love in themselves, we hold on to these wounds and these beliefs and things that we pick up, right? Over childhood, whether it's passed down or past life, just something that's going on in there. But if you don't think that you are worthy enough for the thing that you want, once you release the belief or the energetic wound that's creating that, your soul by default knows that it's worthy. So you kind of default back to that. So I see a lot of people spend a lot of time not digging deep enough to release the thing creating it and trying to force themselves to believe that they are worthy, when really it's so much simpler than that. You can release the thing that's creating it, and then by default you're like, I know I'm worthy of it. I know I'm deserving of it, because it's encoded in your soul, for one. So you don't have to spend a shit ton of time trying to convince yourself that you're worthy of something. You really just have to release the crap that's telling you that you're not. And then you default back to your natural setting. It's the easiest way to put it. You default back to the natural setting, which is that you are worthy. Okay, so the piece that many people don't know or talk about or hear about is if you look at your body and your mind like a computer, think of it as like three pieces, right? You have the beliefs of the mind, you have the body and the vibration of the body, and which that frequency gets lower based on the stuff that's trapped and stored in the body. But we also have our DNA. So, and I know I've mentioned this in a few videos, so I'm going to go just a little bit deeper into it. Especially when you have generational wounds. That means those wounds, those beliefs, those emotions, every bit of it is encoded in your DNA. It is in your cellular structure of your body. And that is the part that some people don't go deep enough to release it and get it out. But if you have, money's a big one that people are always trying to manifest. So we're going to use that as an example. If you have encoded in your DNA that money is limited and it's hard to get, you can do all the mind and energy work that you want, and you are still going to struggle to get the money or make the amount of money that you want to have, because it's coded in your DNA that you don't get to have it. Not everybody is that unfortunate. Some people are lucky enough to come from families that that's not an issue. And so maybe when they were a child, something happened and they created a belief that money was limited. And then it's easier for them to shift out of it and suddenly just skyrocket their business because it wasn't coded in their DNA. Unfortunately, a lot of people, it is coded in your DNA. And so you have to release it from the cellular structure. The DNA, it has like its own, think of it as like it has its own signature, right? It has its own expression. And so we have to release it so it can start expressing something different. And that's one of the things that I work with my one-to-one clients on and teach them how to do that. And it's actually really simple. But if you're really struggling, if you're doing the work and you're reprogramming your beliefs and you're doing the energy work and you've done healing sessions or somatic work or breath work or whatever it is around it, and you are still struggling with it, it is because it is coded in your DNA and you have to get it out. When I started my journey a few years ago, I'm not going to say how many years back, but a while back. It's been quite a while. I first was drawn to the science, the metaphysics, the neuroscience, psychology, and because at that point I had struggled with depression and anxiety for like my whole adult life. I think the first time I was put on antidepressants, I was in high school. Like, I'm 41, so it was a while. It was a good, I don't know, 20 years almost that I struggled with that stuff. But at that point in time, I wasn't into like the spiritual and the energy work, and it led to that, but it started with the science. But I love to learn. So when I learned all I could from the science, then I moved to the spiritual, and they go hand in hand with each other. And the thing is like with the energy and the spiritual, you don't see the changes, or like you don't see it release. Well, maybe some people do, but I personally don't see it like releasing from my body. But for me, like starting down that path, it was easier for me to understand and get behind it because I did understand the science behind it first. The DNA expression is 10 times stronger than the body and the mind. Plain and simple. You can do, there's so many people that I see online, especially in some of like the social media groups that I'm in, where they're like, what's my magic affirmation? Or I keep doing all this work around beliefs and nothing's changing. Well, because you have to do the work in the body, not just the mind. The mind and the body have to be in full mode together. Like they have to be connected and aligned with each other. They have to agree 100%. And if they don't, you are creating resistance in the body against the very thing that you're trying to call in. So it's really, really, really important to release it from your DNA and change that cellular structure in the body. And what else was I gonna say? I just had a total blonde moment and my mind went completely blank. It happens. It happens to the best of us. What was I gonna say? I think that was it. The beliefs, the wounds, and the DNA. Maybe that's all I needed to say if my mind went blank, I guess. So, yes, this is why when I work with my clients, my one-to-one clients, and when I'm doing the work on myself. Now, you gotta remember, like, I've been at this for, like, at least 5 or 6 years or some shit like that. But like it wasn't just the work on myself, it was also learning to help my clients. So I learned like 8 different modalities that I'm certified in. Like, that's fucking crazy. Who needs 8? Apparently I thought I did, but I learned a lot in all of it, and I combine a lot of the stuff that I've learned. So learning how to release it, mind, body, and soul, that's why that's always my priority when I work with my clients. It's we're clearing it from your mind, body, and soul. But before you can elevate into the next level, we got to clear the shit out first. It's keeping you where you're at. So with the beliefs, like I look at it as there are 3 different types of beliefs. I mean, they're all the same. They're all limiting bullshit that needs to go. But there's basically, in my book, there's like 3 different types of beliefs. There's when we're born to the age of 7, our brain is in a theta state. And so we pick up beliefs from other people. The people that are around us, the stuff our parents say all the time, grandparents, aunts, uncles, daycare, whoever, nanny, whoever you're with. You pick up the beliefs that they have. Plus, we have the beliefs that are attached to the energetic wounds that we hold on to. When we got our heart broken or our friend betrayed us or whatever it was, we have the different beliefs that are connected to those. And that means to release that stuff, that has to be the mind and body work. And then we have the ones that are carried over from past life and generational. Those are encoded in our DNA. 3 different types of beliefs, 3 different types of work to release from the mind and the body, depending on if it's a wound or in your DNA or whatever. And so it's not always a one size fits all. It's not. It's simple and it's easy to do when you know what you're doing or you know how to do it. It's not hard. It doesn't have to be time consuming. Like the beliefs that we just pick up, I have a really simple tool that literally releases it from the body because it has its own vibration. It's connected to its own energetic meridian and part of the body that you hold on to it, that signature, and you can release it by tapping into that part of the body. It is very simple when you know what you're doing. So many people don't know what they're doing. Not to be an ass, but there's a lot of people that learn one way of clearing and they think it's like the end all for all, and it's not. And that's why you can work with somebody or take a course or learn a modality or whatever, and it seems to work sometimes but not all the time. And it's because depending on how it's in there changes the way it has to be released. So I think that was it for today. I kind of went off topic a little bit, but I mean, I guess sometimes you just have to. So yes, so when you're doing your manifestation work, your healing work, your release work, whatever it is, remember you can't just do the mind without the body, and you can't do the body without the mind. You have to do them both together. And depending on how deep it is determines how deep you have to go with your healing. But yeah, that's usually what is a big part of people's struggle to really get behind the thing that they want, is because there is something contradicting it that is in your cellular structure of your DNA. So, gotta do the deep body work sometimes, which we always do in my world, because I don't do things shallow and I don't do things half-assed. I'm all about fast, effective, simple. Like, I have a life to live. I have a business to run. I have a child to take care of. She's active in sports. I am not spending all day, every day, for weeks at a time, trying to take care of this shit. So, if you would like to learn more, there's more videos on my channel. And I have different options for one-to-one work. And my release and reprogram method is amazing. It teaches you how 3 different ways of releasing, depending on the 3 different types of belief, and a super simple, easy, fast, effective way to reprogram the subconscious and the body that only takes minutes a day, and it does not take weeks to anchor in, because I already said I ain't got time for that shit. So if you want to know more, just send me a message. Have a great day.